obviously really excited about the performance of our group tonight. Just felt like we had a really good week of practice. Yesterday, as sharp of a walk-through, run-through as we've had, and they got up this morning. I mean, at 7:30 this morning, they're chomping at the bit, and I was a little worried about us being too excited to play today. But I knew we were ready to play. I knew we were going to play well. I think Temple has a lot of talent over there. This is a team that, this is the first win at home against Temple since '96. That's a long time. And, some of the older kids talked about just, how badly Temple beat them their freshman and sophomore years. I think just embarrassing performances. And so to see our group of older kids go out there and, and play that way against that program at home, that's just a really impressive performance by those kids. And just really proud of them, proud of the work that they're putting in. Thank you, Pirate Nation, for the way you showed up today. Thanks again to the student body. Got to visit with them a little bit before the game as they were preparing to come in, and just really a special stadium there today in spite of the elements. So good win number 5. So we're 5-4 over 500 in November. Good night.
As you mentioned the 5 wins, you usually don't like to look ahead, but now 1 win from the bowl, is that something you can start talking about now?
Nah, I don't. No, you can't, because you got to focus on who you're playing. I mean, they all know it. Believe me, promise you, they know it. Everybody in Greenville knows it. But we're playing a very good Memphis team. Knocked off a ranked SMU team today. We've got to go 2 there. It's an early kickoff. I've seen some on film already. I know that receiver they've got is pretty special. So we're going to have our hands full. But the focus is just trying to get better every day and trying to play really well next weekend in Memphis, and we'll see if we're good enough.
Mike, I think all 3 touchdown passes were to tight ends tonight.
Yep.
Was that something that you saw in game plan for? Or was that something that just kind of happened?
Well, I think we saw it in practice, and I think we continue to see it with the development of that group. I thought Ryan Jones had his best week of practice this week, and I made the comment to John Gilbert either yesterday or Thursday. I said, I'm telling you, he's making plays in practice that are just extremely impressive. I said, there's going to be a game somewhere along in here where he's going to have just a blowout, breakout game. And I think tonight was it. I mean, that's pretty impressive. Over 100 yards receiving for a tight end. 2 touchdowns. Real close to having a third right there. Just barely stepped out. And then Shane. I've said it. Shane is the total package. Good blocker. He's a good receiver. And he's still really, really young. So those 2 guys just really, they're a great 1-2 punch there. Aaron Jarman, ironically Temple transfer, did a lot of great things in the run game tonight. So that tight end room had a real good night tonight.
168 yards total that you allowed them. What stood out to you that was working so well defensively? You really erased the run early.
Well, I thought our defensive linemen and linebackers, really. They owned the line of scrimmage. That's the whole key to it. They did a great job, gap integrity, winning their gap, and just really knocking the offensive line back. And as elementary as that sounds, that's what it was. We whipped them up front.
Going into this game, we talked a lot about Temple tough. What does a 45-3 win say about Pirate tough?
I challenged the kids to be the most physical team in the stadium this afternoon, to be the ones that played with the most passion and intensity and most physicality. I think they demonstrated that.
Your defense had to face 2 sudden changes, got 3 and out both times. Is there anything you guys do at practice to simulate that?
Yeah, it's something we work. Coach Harold does a great job with it. It's really a mentality thing for us, because our job right there is to try to hold them to at least a field goal, hopefully nothing. And so we're able to force no points one time. Unfortunately, we gave the field goal there in the second half. So the kids were disappointed in that, but it's a mindset that those defensive coaches do a great job with.
Did you get 146 yards out of Keaton today? You got off early and often. Talk about what that does for your offense when you're able to get him out in space.
Well, you get him in space now, he's going to make you pay, because that's speed now. But I thought he and Rajay both did a really good job tonight. I thought Rajay, he ran with authority. I thought our offensive line gave him room to run. But that, the cut on that 57-yarder to start the second half was a pretty special run by Keaton right there. So I love my 2 backs. Those are my 2 guys. I haven't hesitated from that since we signed them. But I'm glad they're here. I'm glad they're Pirates.
You were able to get Mason Garcia into the game tonight for some live reps.
Yeah.
Was there a thought about maybe getting him a little bit earlier, up 35?
No. I mean, I want to win the ball.
I asked
game.
that question for
Yeah.
I go.
Yeah, yeah. No, I mean, I tell you, mate, and I hate he had the turnover. He hates he had the turnover. You know, it's good to get him that game experience. You know, we got to try to get him that when we can. I wish we had more opportunities, but you want to make sure you take care of. You know, if there's no chance to give somebody a chance to come back or anything like that. And you know, it's I've been in games like that where you held on to try to win at the end, and I've been in games like that we lost. So you just gotta kind of try to have a feel for when's the right time.
Coach, can you describe the growth of your defense from the beginning of the season to what we got to see tonight?
Well, I mean, I just think that experience, maturity. Again, most of those guys are second-year players. You know, the linebackers aren't, but the front is. You know, I just think that they're playing very well within the scheme. I think they're playing with a lot of confidence. And I think the combination of, you know, Coach Harrell does a great job with, you know, the game plan each week, but the kids know the stuff so well. I mean, the volume that we take into a game is probably as much as I've ever taken into a game defensively, and the kids can handle it. And you know, we had very few breakdowns tonight, but the real key to it is not the scheme as much as how they play. You know, the physicality, the high effort, the intensity. I mean, it's that bunch. You know, they love the way we play together, and they embrace, you know, that style of play.
A few weeks ago, the issue on offense was finishing out drives. It wasn't
Yeah.
picking up yards. Clearly not an issue tonight. What do you attribute that success to?
Well, I think that our offensive line played very, very well tonight, and we challenged them this week that was going to be the key to the game. You know, if that offensive line's playing well, and you know our quarterback, you know, he had one mistake, and other than that, played a really, really good ball game tonight. Those two running backs, I mean, it's when we're firing on all cylinders, we got a good bunch, and so I just think it's everybody being on the same page. Execution's much, much better. We didn't, you know, we had the 2 interceptions, but really, you know, one was after the game was out of hand. So you're doing a better job taking care of the football. You know, not a bunch of stupid penalties. You know, stopping drives and stuff. And that's really been the thing that's been frustrating is, you know, when we've been stopped this year, it's usually been because of us. And so I thought we just did a better job of execution the last couple of weeks.
When you see Holden 50 yards downfield leading that keep Mitchell around, what does that say about him?
Don't do anything stupid and get yourself hurt, for one. But I mean, that's the way that bunch is, though. I mean, that's, you know, I'm telling you, we're getting to, I don't know, this is the best ever or something like that. That team culture in that locker room is pretty special. Those kids, I don't hear anything about stats. I don't hear anything about touches. You know, they all love each other and they play their freaking tails off for each other. And I'm telling you, there ain't a whole lot of locker rooms around it like that. You want to know why? You know, some of these teams are having problems, culture problems, and underperforming and stuff like that. It's because they let things get away and get too me, selfish stuff. You know, if they keep the focus on each other and keep the focus on the team, good things happen. And that's what you're seeing from that group in there.
You're starting to put some momentum together now, and you could hear the locker room.
Yeah,
after the
it was a
game,
good
they
locker
sounded
room tonight.
very excited. What does that do for you heading into next week?
Well, we won 2 in a row in league play, so that's 2 in a row in league play. You know, we'll try to see if we can win another one. So it's going to be a stiff test next week. Good football team, but we've got a good football team too.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, Coach.